So we are back live from GoTech World, and I am here with three amazing ladies. It is such a joy for me to be hosting this panel today. And let me introduce you to my guests today. So our first guest is Riki Asemota. She's partner at McKinsey & Company. Hello, Riki. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. Hello.
Irina Kamalova, founder and director of Women Coding Company. Hello, Irina. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And Renita Kalhorn, founder EQ. Thank you so much, Renita.
Thank you for having me as well.
All three of you are such a great inspiration. You have given such wonderful talks here at the largest exposition and conference in Central and Eastern Europe. And everything has been, I think, in these couple of days about inspiration. And I would like to start this interview with the question, how do you find your source of inspiration and what drove you into your particular field? So we will start with you, Riki.
Okay. I would say that my source of inspiration, I would sort of talk about it in two parts. The first is what I call sort of my hunger for impact. I get very sort of energized by being able to really interact with results, right, and output. And so the work that I do at McKinsey, working and partnering with my clients to deliver on their transformation objectives, is for me very energizing because I get energized by and inspired by impact. I think the second source of inspiration for me is my 15-year-old boy. I want him to grow up in a world where women are getting things done and are breaking barriers and things like that. So he's another sort of personal source of inspiration for me.
That's lovely. Thank you so much. Irina, what about you?
Yeah, so when I was a kid, I was passionate about technology and about sustainability as well. I saw that we need to do more to save our planet. That was my first inspiration. And then I started to learn physics and maths and computer science, and I entered in software engineering. So I'm already 4 decades software engineer. And another point that I saw that women underrepresented in this field that struck me with another point to be inspired, because today I'm a mother of 10 months old girl. And I feel really responsible what is the world my girl is coming to. So in my free time, I was also building community for women to thrive. And today, director founder of Women Coding Community. I see that we can do so much more around if we speak about ourselves and if we speak not only about how technology can change our world, but how we can change our world by introducing better practices and the best environment for everyone is the workplace.
Thank you so much. Renita.
Thank you. So something I've always been fascinated by is human potential. And I started with myself. So I started off as a classical pianist, exploring my own potential as a musician and using music as a way to express myself. And at the same time, I have always been able to see other people's potential much better than they can see it themselves. And so I feel like I've just always been coaching, even from the 3rd grade. You know, some underdog in 3rd grade, I would help them really have more confidence and understand their potential. And that's something that's just blossomed into a career for me, where I help people achieve their potential.
Here we are at this high-tech conference, and we have spoken now about strengths that women have, and you've talked about the sensibility for music, arts, and about motherhood and inspiration. And in a world where things have changed so much from two different perspectives, first of all, now women do a lot more than they've ever done into fields such as tech, which were usually not something that they would do. But now this has changed on the one hand. On the other hand, AI has come into our lives abruptly, but it's here to stay. So how do you imagine the world changing in the coming years from the perspective of AI and its interaction with our human sides. What makes us human, and what is most important after all? So, Ricky, please.
Sure, I'm happy to kick it off. It's a very exciting time, isn't it? I think that people talk about AI sometimes from a place of fear, that it's here to sort of take away jobs and things like that. I actually see it quite differently. I see AI as, and I really love the phrase you use, Renita, as a tool that has the ability to unlock the human potential. I see the sort of future, and you asked the question about where I see things going. I see AI being able to take away the more mundane, routine tasks and things to do, and that just simply frees the human up for the things that AI can't do, and there are many things AI can't do. People talk about AI being great for innovation, and I challenge that, and I say AI is great at executing on a human original sort of imagination, and I think that creativity is a skill set that I think as humans, as we evolve with AI, is something that we will be freed up to do more of, right? The problem solving, the creative thinking, and things like that. So it's very exciting. I see it as elevating all of us.
Thank you so much, Irina.
Yeah, I want to say that to be really different from AI, and we are really different from AI, we also need to keep in mind in this very fast changing world that we have to have visions that lead us to the direction where we want to be, not what we want to do, but first of all, where we want to be. And AI changing our jobs, but it's not changing who we are, and it's not changing what exactly we want to do in the meaning of impact. It's speed up our job, it's improve our operations, and even in motherhood, AI can help right now with tracking sleep schedule and etc., which is really good. But the most important part about being human, remember that you build in yourself with your vision, where do you want to be, and you build yourself with your personality, how you want to be there, to keep integrity, to build communications, connections, and especially in motherhood, nothing helps that much as other people.
Thank you so much, Renita.
I couldn't agree more with Ricky and Irina. I think this is the era where we're going to be able to fully express our individual selves. In the past, it's been very hierarchical. It's been the 1% determining everything else for the 99%. And I really think now we're in a time where 99% of people can be included and have an opportunity to explore and express their talents and not have to deal so much with the mundane. So I'm very excited about this time.
Thank you. You are all three amazing leaders. You've built strong businesses, and you've worked with some of the greatest leaders in the world, some of the biggest companies. And I would like to tap into the advice-giving part of this interview, because it's important for those watching us. Now, I know that there are a lot of companies that are talking about, transformation and digitalization, but they are so much struggling with the results. What would your advice be for these companies that just can't turn their good intentions into actual results? Ricky.
Do you want me to start? This is a very relevant topic, and one that I look at live right now with my clients. And you're absolutely right. There's a lot of good intention out there. In fact, McKinsey run a sort of annual survey on this, and in the 2025 survey, when we asked leaders, who has the intention, right, of investing in AI, and we found that more than 9 out of 10 leaders really have intentions to invest more in AI and do more with technology to really boost their business. But then when you ask them a different question, which is how many sort of at scale things have you actually been able to launch, right, with AI? And it's barely 1%. Not surprising, right? It's not even up to 1 in 10. I call it something. I coin it pilot purgatory. A lot of organizations pilot a ton of sort of AI ideas and interventions and projects, but they don't move past the pilot phase. And so my advice typically is, when you look at the reasons why they didn't move past the pilot phase, I say that there are three elements that are important. And when you look at the pilot purgatory cases, it's because one of those elements or one or two of them is missing. And the three, I call them, I say it's to your point, Irina, you need to have purpose. You know, what's the vision? Why am I doing this? And if that purpose is not linked to the people, right, in terms of how are people going to interact with this change that's coming? Am I going to need to upskill them? Am I going to need to reskill them because AI is going to take portions out of what they do today? You need to think about the people. And then the third leg then is the tech, right? But the tech is supposed to enable as opposed to be the thing that we are. And I think that that's the sort of kicker that I find a lot of clients that end up in pilot purgatory. It's because they've just focused on the tech. The tech is not necessarily linked to a vision or a purpose for the organization. And so therefore its people, its employees are not able to key into that, rationale for why they're doing it. So that's my advice.
Thank you. Irina?
Yeah, I think my advice to those companies will be start with small steps and try to optimize day-to-day operations that your employees do, instead of saying like, okay, I want my product to have AI at the end, please help me to do this. But there's so many more products that already have AI that could be introduced in company in day-to-day operations, like recording and summarizing meetings, using tools to actually search information, adding it to Slack, like so many integrations. And company, they don't do this. They want to improve their product with AI instead of first of all looking like, okay, how we can improve just what we are doing right now day to day. And they could achieve much more by freeing a lot of time by reducing these operations and get ideas from their employees. That will be my advice.
I would add that AI is an amplifier. So if you're very decisive, it will help you make decisions. If you're innovative, it will help you be more innovative and creative. And if you're reactive, it will help you be more reactive and passive as well. So it's only going to amplify your strengths and weaknesses. And I think leaders really need to be very clear, very self-aware, and really identify how they need to adapt to the changing environment, because they can't just do things the way they've always done and continue regardless of what happens in the environment. They really need to be adapting and be dynamic. And that, I think, is going to be the core skill that every leader, every team needs to develop, is adaptability.